I the first blow, arrogance unleashed. The galaxy had grown used to cruelty disguised as order. The Chithra Dominion, a war-born empire of scaled leviathans, had stamped its mark across countless worlds. Their fleets prowled star systems like carrion birds, demanding tribute, obedience, and silence. It was in the frontier colony of Aurelia 7, a lush human outpost ringed by violet seas, that they decided to make an example. Without warning, the Dominion's ships descended through the skies like iron meteors. Civilian comms filled with panic. Families ran to shelters that would never hold. "Earth is soft," one Chithra commander hissed over open channels. "They hide behind words. They have forgotten blood." Bombardments rained down, not on defenses, but on markets, schools, and water treatment plants. The Dominion wanted humiliation, not just conquest. They dragged the governor's envoy, a woman named Marissa Hale, into the streets, binding her before a crowd of colonists. Her last broadcast reached Earth, her voice shaking, her face bloodied before the Chithra executed her with casual amusement. The galaxy saw it. Billions of species watched the feed. Many pitied humanity, many more mocked, and the Dominion laughed loudest of all. Aye, the banquet of mockery. In the Chithra capital, the High Warlords celebrated. Goblets of molten crystal clinked together. Hollow displays replayed the envoy's death like theater. "They call themselves defenders of the weak," one warlord sneered. Yet their envoy begged like prey. This is what comes of a species too attached to mercy. Other empires, ever fearful of humanity's rise, nodded in agreement. Humans were clever, inventive, and stubborn. But in the eyes of the galaxy, they were still young farmers who had wandered too far into a forest of predators. Rumors spread quickly. Earth would sue for peace. Earth would retreat into silence. Earth would mourn and then submit. The Chithra believed it so deeply that they broadcast challenges across the void. "If any human dares, let them face our champion. Not fleets, not bombs, but tooth and claw. Show us this strength you boast of. Send us your warrior." It was meant to be cruel comedy. They expected no answer. Aye, the knife in the dark. But Earth answered. A single shuttle descended onto the Dominion's arena world of Grathkar, where crowds of billions had gathered to watch the mockery. No army, no battalion, no armor. Just one man. He was unremarkable at first glance, lean, scarred, with hair cropped close and eyes that burned like coals in winter. He carried no rifle, no plasma lance, no power suit. Only a sheath at his belt from which gleamed the hilt of a combat knife, steel, sharpened, human-made. "Name," the announcer demanded. The man looked up at the alien colossus towering above him. His voice was gravel, his words few. "Sergeant Elias Cade, United Earth Special Forces." Laughter rippled across the arena. Billions of aliens jeered, pointing claws and tendrils at the lone figure with his primitive blade. Against him rose the Dominion's chosen monster, a Voreth beast, 10 meters tall, armored in bone plates, jaws wide enough to bite a transport in half. The signal blared, the gates opened, the beast charged. Every alien expected screams. They expected blood spilled quick and meaningless. Instead, they saw something else, something they would never forget. Humanity's patience breaks. Cade did not run, he did not scream, he moved. The knife flashed like lightning under a storm cloud, cutting through tendon, vein, and soft underplate the beast never knew it had. He ducked, rolled, and carved, every motion born of 1,000 drills, 1,000 hunts, 1,000 wars humanity had fought against its own monsters. The beast howled. The crowd gasped. For the first time they saw the truth of humanity. We had lived our entire history beside predators, teeth always at our throats, and we had survived not with claws, not with fangs, but with wills sharpened into steel. Minutes stretched like eternity. The monster's blood painted the sand. Cade rose, soaked and breathing like a storm, and with one last strike, a blade through the eye into the brainstem, the beast fell silent. Billions of voices turned to silence. The Dominion's warlords, once smug, shifted in unease. Because in that knife, in that man, they saw something far larger behind him. They saw Earth. And Earth was done waiting. The silence before the storm. In the weeks that followed, there were no more jokes, no more broadcasts of mockery, only silence, the kind that makes prey look over its shoulder. Then the silence broke. From Neptune's dark shipyards, fleets stirred. Dreadnoughts, long hidden under ice, lit their engines. Carriers like floating continents rose from dock. Black banners of the United Earth Defense Pact unfurled. Across the comnet of the galaxy, a single transmission spread like wildfire. A woman's voice, calm, cold, merciless. "This is Earth Command, to the Chithra Dominion. Retribution is inbound." Aliens who once mocked humanity now trembled. They had thought the knife a parlor trick, but it was only the whisper before the thunder. Fire over the stars. The human fleets arrived like a storm tearing across eternity. At Varigate, the Dominion's proud fortress world, the sky went dark as 700 ships emerged from warp. Sunlight vanished behind hulls bristling with cannons. The first volley was not a warning. It was judgment. Planetary shields melted under focused kinetic strikes, rods of tungsten hurled at a fraction of light speed, ripping mountains apart as if they were paper. The Dominion counterattacked. Swarms of cruisers, scaled like serpents, launched salvo after salvo. But human dreadnoughts waded forward through the fire, their armor burning, their guns speaking in thunder. And then came the ground assault. Drop pods slammed into cities like iron raindrops. Special forces disembarked, faceless behind visors, moving with precision. Not one wasted motion, not one wasted shot. Entire legions of Chithra warriors broke against them, the way waves break against cliffs. Every alien broadcast it. Billions watched as the Dominion, once arrogant, now howled in fear. The monster was never alone. In every corner of the galaxy, whispers spread. They remembered Elias Cade, the man with the knife, the one who had faced a monster and won. And now they understood. He had not been alone. Every human carried that same fire. Every human bore that same knife, whether forged in steel or in spirit. Humanity had been patient. Humanity had been mocked, beaten, tested. But patience is not weakness. Patience is the drawing of the blade before the strike. And now the strike was here. The final reckoning. At last, Earth's fleets reached the Chithra homeworld. A billion voices screamed as the skis burned. Dominion warlords, once proud in their halls, now cowered in bunkers. Human commanders offered no speeches, no pleas, only a single message before the annihilation. For Orlia 7, for Myrissa Hale, for every life you thought too small to matter. Then came the orbital fires, beams wide as oceans, cutting continents in half. Seas boiled, skis split. The Dominion's banners turned to ash. When the last warlord was dragged from his throne, it was not by machines. It was by human soldiers, boots in blood, blades in hand. The knife that had killed the beast now gleamed again, not as a symbol of primitive defiance, but as the seal of judgment. Aftermath, the whisper in the void. When the fires faded, the galaxy was left in silence. The Chithra Dominion was no more. Their fleets shattered, their world broken, their arrogance reduced to dust. Survivors fled into the outer dark, whispering in fear. And in every shadowed council hall, across every alien empire, the same words spread like a plague of dread. Never provoke Earth again. For they had seen what humanity was, a species that faced monsters with nothing but a knife, and won. A species that, when driven too far, became a storm no wall could hold back. Patience was infinite, but vengeance was absolute. Closing echo. Some say that if you stand among the ruins of the Chithra throne world and listen closely, you can still hear it. The clash of steel, the roar of a dying beast, and the footsteps of a single man walking out of the arena. The galaxy does not laugh anymore. It waits, it watches, it remembers. Because the next time a human draws a blade, it will not be alone. And that truth will echo forever.